Yo, welcome to another episode, Channel 914. As always, I'm your host, Rail Allen, and I have another illustrious guest with me here today, fellow Mustang. Can't remember, I've had I think you might be technically the fourth.
Okay, you got a stable.
Yeah. Not quite. Maybe one day. but yeah, man. So you have a podcast of your own.
Yes.
You are also a singer, vocalist extraordinaire.
Oh my gosh.
You're a musician. You play the guitar.
Yes.
Yeah, you do like salsa dancing and shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like just all over the place. Just so artistic, so creative. Just
spinning the block on everybody.
That's what you call it?
No. I'm just trying to be hip.
Just trying. You succeed. I guess I should say your name, huh?
You can.
I can. Nicole, Patrice.
Hey.
CoCo, as some refer to you too.
Yeah.
Who calls you CoCo?
So, damn, he gonna put me on the spot. So literally it's like one guy.
Oh, so one person gave you the name?
One person. No, so originally the idea came from, I'm born on August 19, 1983, and my birthday is 100 years to the date from Coco Chanel, the designer. And so once I figured that out, I read like her bio and all that stuff. And then it was crazy because like around that same time, this one guy would just randomly be like, "Hey, Coco."
Oh, so he didn't come up with it technically.
No, like I didn't tell him that. I like realized my birthday was her, so I kind of like was thinking that like, oh, that'd be a cool like little alias or whatever. Like I'll work that in there. And then like I just remember one day we were in class and he was like, "Coco," and I'm like, "That's wild." I'm like, okay, well he's calling me Coco. I'm Coco now.
So it was just the universe confirming.
Yeah.
That's what you were supposed to be called.
Through him, yeah.
Okay, I've never called you Coco. I just
start.
Well, shit. Okay.
It's fine.
Well, I guess
I could just be Nicole.
I guess I'll refer to you as Coco for the duration.
No.
However fucking long I know you.
That's my alter ego.
That was really fucking aggressive.
I know. That was Coco talking.
Oh.
See, that's like Sasha Fierce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like borderline personality disorder or anything like that.
It could be, but
okay.
Are you a doctor?
I'm not. I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'm gonna be nice. Back to Nicole.
So how was your holiday, Nicole?
So I'm not really into the holidays.
The slaughter of indigenous people.
That's not cool to me. I don't vibe with that too much. Yeah, I just I feel like we get caught up in these rituals, so to speak, and get distracted from a lot of things. So I don't really partake, but I don't you do you, I do me. But it was cool. I mean, I had some White Castles and made a peach cobbler. real.
You had White Castles?
Stuff. Yeah, I think I ended up. What did we do? So like we had like
of all the things.
I know, right? It was some like I think I went out. That's what it was. I went salsa dancing on a Wednesday.
Okay.
So the day before Thanksgiving, and then I just thought, oh God, I don't have anything greasy to eat here. I like made it all the way home, and then my daughter, she's always encouraging me to buy junk food. So it was like we just agreed, like let's just get some White Castle. And
that's where y'all landed on.
And that was our
some Harold and Kumar shit, y'all.
Dinner was White Castles, yeah.
That's amazing. And my mama ain't cooked this shit either. She was like, "Fuck that shit." We went out to eat. We went to this spot called the Harvest Room.
Okay.
I thought it was gonna be weird. It ended up being really cool. It was low maintenance. We showed up there. We chilled.
Yeah.
Ate. You know what I'm saying? Went about our way. Ain't nobody had to clean up shit.
Stress free.
Yeah. No, it was actually shit. We might fuck around and do this.
Right.
Henceforth.
Right. I mean, if you already gonna be, celebrating the slaughter of Indians, you might as well not be a slave the same day.
So I brought that up because I saw your little rant about the holidays.
Like which one?
And family.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, it sounded a little personal.
Oh, it is. It's always personal. No, okay. So it is, but then also I like to speak on behalf of people who really don't feel like they think things, but they don't want to say them out loud. And that's kind of always been me.
Speaking up for the little guy.
Trying to.
The voice for the voiceless, even?
You know, yeah, I believe. Okay, we're not doing that. I saw you do that. I'm not doing that today. But no, I just, like I spent a lot of my like youth feeling like out of place, like as far as like the things that I thought and the things that I believe. So I know that like my children are coming up behind me and other children or like younger family members that I have that are just kind of looking for themselves. And so I just like to be able to offer like a different perspective because I feel like we are like stuck in a lot of groupthink right now. And
that's for sure.
Yeah. So I will be very loud about my differing opinions. And, I expect people to, respect that. And I'm going to respect your opinion, even if I think you're dumb and it's stupid. I'm going to go keep that to myself.
And we do get to a place where like people is like, if you disagree, it's almost like that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you have a difference of opinion with me?
Right.
It's really fucking strange.
We're all fucking narcissists at this point. Like, really.
Yeah. It's what social media has done to us.
For real.
Yeah, man. It's very, very individualistic. Is that even a word?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, I know we're supposed to be a part of this whole, but social media really doesn't promote that at all. It really just promotes like you as the individual.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm the star. Everybody else is just like an extra in my movie.
Right.
Type shit.
And then you're looking for people, like you're in an echo chamber. So like people don't want to hear nobody else's opinion because that's all they've gotten used to is people that they agree with. I'm going to block you. I'm going to quiet you.
Right.
I'm going to mute you.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah,
I'm still over here doing me.
Shit is wild. So please pronounce the name of your podcast.
Chilindrinas Mas Finas.
What the fuck does that mean?
So Chilindrinas Chilindrina was okay, so originally the word means like it's a pastry, like a breakfast Mexican pastry. And there was a character, and it also means the word itself just means like a trivial thing, like something that, obviously is not that important or whatever. And so and then it's another situation. A guy literally was like, "Oh, you're a chilindrina." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But he was meaning it from, there was a TV show, a Mexican, I won't say it was Colombian or Mexican, one of them, but it's a old school TV show. It was like a little comedy sitcom where the main character was Chilindrina and she was like a troublemaker. So she would literally just, the whole episode would just be built around her, like causing problems. Like there was this guy down the street that she had a crush on, was called El Chavo de Cinco was the name of the show. And it was the guy in number 5 or whatever. And so she would just cause problems the whole show. She had like glasses and freckles and like pigtails and very iconic look. The actress actually trademarked her look, so you can't like reproduce that without her getting paid for it.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. And so I just, when I was thinking about podcast names, that jumped in my head because I wanted to like just do a nod to like the bilingual aspect and the Spanish culture. And then I just thought it was a cute play on words because I'm definitely a troublemaker. And I like breakfast foods. But also, so Chilindrinas Mas Finas is in the title is just basically, so the trivial things that we talk about, but to refine them. So like, I just wanted to take like, popular culture and like things we kind of take for granted that we see on a day to day, like, in the social media and the news feeds, the blogs, and just try to have like a deeper conversation about some of the spiritual aspects and like some of the subconscious things that may be going on behind some of that stuff. So that's what the goal was and why I named it that.
Well, that got deep.
You know it. Profunda.
So when you say like more the spiritual subconscious things behind it, give me an example. What do you mean?
So like okay, I know this is
Put you on the spot.
We're tired of talking about yay. Yeah. But the best example I can make is like if you look at Kanye West, right? Mm-hmm. And like how divisive he's become, how much he really just brings out these really strong reactions from people either way, so there's people who are just like fanboys and, they just all on his tip and you can't tell them nothing wrong about him. Right. Mm-hmm. And then you got the other people who are just like, oh my God, down with him. I think they would literally just, take to the streets and drag him out of his house if they could. And
scum of the earth.
Yeah. And so I just kind of, saw that and realized like, okay, what is actually going on though? Like, what is Kanye doing to us? Like, it ain't really about Kanye. It's like, what is it about you and your life that Kanye is like bringing out? You know what I mean? For you to have such a strong reaction.
Yeah. I always say, I've said this before, but that nothing illustrates that to me more than when anything comes up between like Sierra and Future. And Russell Wilson, because it's just oh my God, like people just really, really lose their shit.
They personalize it.
Yeah, because it's just like, you might be Future, you might be Russell Wilson,
right.
You might be Sierra, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You might be a Sierra that's with the Future,
right, and
looking for a Russell Wilson,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you could be a Future that had a Sierra and then lost her and she ended up with a Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then and they just arguing with each other over the internet, and they really ain't got shit to do with them. It's all about how they feel.
Right.
Yeah, it's really fucking wild.
People are really tying the outcome of their life to like celebrities and people that they will never probably know or meet, and it's so wild.
And people that don't give a fuck about you at all.
But I like to be able to see like, okay, well, when you look at that though, like, what are you actually seeing? So like, people don't really break that down and see like, why am I taking this so personally? And it's like, that's what I want to look at. Like, why are you internalizing this? What are you projecting into this situation that is your shit and not necessarily his shit? And Kanye got problems, like
a whole lot of fucking problems. He just got 200 grand more than me. Did you see that?
Man, fucking Kim K, man.
Hey man, they've been hitting Kanye pockets
left and right. Yeah.
200K a month?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so wild, and I know it's not based on how much he makes, because it's out there in California, and that's like a Commonwealth, so they just do whatever.
Yeah, right.
So it's not really, because I know I think in Illinois they changed it to where it's based on both incomes. Mm-hmm. Because Kim K definitely got her own money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she got more yays now.
Yeah.
Which is like, is it surprising though? Like, didn't we kind of all know that this is how this movie was going to end?
He knew. He wrote Gold Digger. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah, and that's why I was so like, it's just, and not to say anything bad about Kim Kardashian. She is who she is.
She busted open for that bread though, so let's establish that.
But I'm just talking about strictly her track record in terms of like, relationships.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and she married Ye. They had 4 kids together, right?
Yeah.
And let's not sit here to say, because Ye is obviously, I don't know what people want to say, he's a genius, whatever. And outside of that, you know what I'm saying? He's obviously lost his shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't necessarily say, like, especially with all the stuff when they first split, all the stuff he was doing, you know what I'm saying? And like how he was acting. It's like, you can't really blame her for like trying to move on.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I don't think anybody, when he first got with her, I don't think anybody saw this like as a happy ending.
Yeah.
Like somehow we all knew. We didn't know how we was going to get here, but we all knew that this is where it was going to go.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, man, I just feel sorry for that brother. 200,000. That's a lot of money.
Unfathomable.
Yeah, I should just made my stomach hurt.
Hey, so she got to get that formula.
Yeah. It's a shortage. That shit is expensive now. Fucking liquid gold.
And she went, she might have breastfed. I don't know. I don't know how silicone breastfeeding works. But.
Can you? That's not.
Yeah.
Because that's not, I guess would it still?
It should all work, but I would feel some kind of way.
Yeah, especially if it, I don't know.
I imagine the baby gonna be like, bitch, you got more in there. Holding out.
Right.
Got this gallon, you gonna give me a pint. Fuck is wrong with you?
So what made you even want to like have this idea that you want to start doing the podcast? Like, what was like that moment? It's just like, you know what, man, I'm gonna do this shit.
I have been thinking about it for a while. I think we maybe even talked about it a time or two. You know what? Because I think I was on that podcast. Shout out to Mimi, REA Radio, and I think we were talking about me being on there too, and that also kind of like triggered me. Like, oh well, I did have fun doing it. Let me think about doing this again. I just been wanting to do it for a while, and then of course you have friends and people that are, oh yeah, I'm gonna do one, and then nobody was doing it.
Nobody ever does
and
it.
I'm gonna have you on, and then nobody was having me on. And I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do what I gotta do. And then definitely when I saw you doing your thing, I was like, oh yeah, it's confirmation. Because I bought my equipment like I think right before you started your first episode, but I hadn't like just went and just did it. So I was just sitting on my equipment like, okay, what am I gonna do? And then I was like, okay, fuck this, let's go for it.
And I couldn't, especially once I like paid money for this shit. I was like, no, this got to be used.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no way, I'm just gonna sit here.
Right.
I got to like return on my investment somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. No, but you're funny as shit.
Thank you.
And it's not a lot of people because that can carry it on their own.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, you've had a couple of guests. I was one of them.
Yes. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you. But mostly you just do it on your own.
Yeah. And,
you have to have a lot of personality.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple personalities, apparently.
CoCo.
But you definitely have to have a lot of personality to pull that off. And you do it well. I'm not going to front. Yeah,
Thank
man.
You.
So you are bilingual as fuck.
Yeah.
You are black.
Yes.
But you are fluent in Spanish, correct?
Yes. And to clarify, you can be black and Latina, but I'm not
black
Latina.
And Latina, Afro-Latina, all that. I mean, we kind of like,
conflate all of the nationality.
It's kind of different stops on the boat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like we was dropped off in different areas, came from the same place.
The white man just keep us confused. just to be frank. Frank or Tim or Brad.
Paul. Chad.
Kyle. Let me stop. That George Carlin bit.
So, I love George Carlin, by the way. So, but when did you start learning Spanish?
So, Morgan Park, I was in the gifted program. I know eye rolls.
Motherfuckers went smart.
They always say that. They think they better than that because they was in 7th and 8th grade. Fuck them. But so.
Y'all do, though.
I mean, we just are. We just exist. So I took Spanish starting in 7th grade, and Mr. Marchand was the Spanish teacher, and he approached me about playing soccer, and I think just that relationship just built on that.
You used to play soccer.
Yeah, I was the captain.
You were the captain?
Mm-hmm. Like my freshman or sophomore year, co-captains.
Okay.
Yep. I was pretty dope. I got a little scholarship to Kennedy King, and them motherfuckers didn't even have.
King had a soccer team?
Yes, that's the funniest shit, right? And then so I get the scholarship, and I'm thinking I'm finna be playing, like we gonna be playing team. We're the scrimmage team for the boys. Like they just play us to get better for their real games.
I just never. Kennedy, a soccer team?
Yes, they had a soccer team.
That's crazy.
Yes.
I never knew.
Such a low point in my life.
So you got a scholarship and didn't play in any real games?
No, we just played. The boys just beat us up, and that was it. It was like, you should be happy to be here.
That's crazy.
Get back to class.
A soccer scholarship to Kennedy King College.
Yeah, I don't brag on it. That's what that gifted program got me.
Because the only thing you associate with Chicago. Were you really only like, do they still, WKKC, you remember that?
Uh-huh.
Because, Kennedy King was really big on the broadcast, and so WKKC was their radio station.
That was my major, too, so I was taking classes in broadcasting.
Were you ever on air?
No.
No?
I dropped out. Like, my life got real fucking shitty. I blame the soccer scholarship. My life got real shitty. I was like, fuck this. Let me go get pregnant. Let me go find me a deadbeat daddy. Because what is this?
See about how low I can go.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, so learning Spanish.
Yeah. So yeah, just being immersed with the soccer team and my coach being my Spanish teacher, and then I think what really made me want it, I always had a love of language and words. Like I was always a word nerd, always reading books and dictionaries and weird shit. And so eventually I just kind of was like, you know what, I really want to make sure I learn this. Especially like I think what triggered it a lot was when we be on the soccer field and a lot of them girls would assume we didn't speak any Spanish. So we play a lot of Hispanic girls.
And they be talking shit thinking you don't know.
Yeah, chinga la morena, yeah, all types of shit. Well, we can curse, right? Yeah, we curse.
Yeah.
Like, I'm giving you the Spanish curse words. Don't say those in front of people that you may not know that they speak Spanish. But yeah. But yeah, so they would say shit, and then it'd be like that's how I got into a lot of fights too, just knowing that they were talking about us in Spanish. And then like I worked in Old Country Buffet was like one of my first jobs outside of like the school.
Which one did you work at?
The one in Lansing by River Oaks.
I got kicked out of that one.
Nice. What'd you do? You went back for dinner after you only paid for lunch?
No. So it's a funny story actually.
Oh God.
So this is senior year. This is actually after a football game. I forgot who I was with me. But so we go on Country Buffet. You know, you had to pay at the register, right? So I give her. It was like maybe $10, maybe a little less than $10, something like that. So I gave her a 20, and she only gave me back like change. Like I'm like silver change, like no actual paper dollars. I'm like, I gave you a 20. She was like, no, you didn't. I was like, yes, I did. So she calls the manager. Manager comes up and just like, all right, I'm gonna count the register, and if it comes up $10 over, I'll give you your money back. I'm like, bet. So I sit down, eat, and so I'm sitting there, and then the manager comes over. He's just like, yeah, I counted the register, and it didn't come up $10 over. And I'm just like, well, I know I gave her a 20, so I'm going to sit here until I get my money back.
Bro, what year was this like around?
This was 98.
Great. So like, no, I don't think I started working there then. But we had a situation where there was a cashier around the time I started working there that was like known for stealing. But
she probably stole my money.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was probably her. You raggedy bitch.
But she got hers though.
Yeah, no. So and I wasn't belligerent, but you know, I'm not a small guy. There was some little nerdy white dude. He was the manager.
Chris. That was probably Chris Angeloff.
Sounds, that's.
He had big, thick glasses, short guy, bald head, skinny guy. Yeah, Vietnam vet. He's a mess. Oh my God, I got some stories. Via Chris, man.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Chris Angeloff. So I just said politely, like, look, I know I gave her $20, so I'm not moving until I get my money back. Yeah. Called the police so fast. I'm talking about like not 5 minutes later, they was escorting my ass about Old Country Buffet. So I told my mama what happened, and you know she the queen of calling corporate.
Oh God!
So they called corporate, and he told them that I got belligerent, and he said that like, I didn't give him a chance to count the register. Oh God! And all this other stuff, just straight lie. But they ended up giving me a gift certificate. Well, not when my mama took it. I never saw it. Her and my father used it for themselves. So fuck my pain and suffering. They just
when they had peach cobbler and ham on your dime.
Right. Old Country Buffet used to be that shit though.
Oh yeah, I was going through it when I had to stop working there because I was like, I actually need to buy lunch at my jobs now because like I'd just go on break and just smash. You get the itis and then you got to go back and clock in.
I can imagine how much weight I would have gained working at Old Country Buffet. I just would have been sitting there eating all the fried chicken.
Yeah,
all the French, all the potato wedges.
And the breakfast was pretty good too.
I never knew they had breakfast.
Oh my God, the best thing when I work mornings and you come in there and you just smell all that bacon frying. Ugh, so good.
Oh well, you know I can't draw off the swine anyway. But you know, well, hooray for you.
I know.
Why did we mention Old Country Buffet anyway? You were working?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I was saying one of my first jobs that I spoke a lot of Spanish there because a lot of the cooks and the dishwashers were Spanish speaking, and I made friends with like a older Mexican couple. And they used to talk to me all the time. They were like, "Oh, you speak Spanish?" So they would force me because they didn't speak any English. Okay. And so then I ended up translating a lot of times for them, and it just kind of grew from there. I just like realized, okay, well, this is pretty cool. I can help people too.
Okay, so I didn't realize you had been like in it this long. I thought this was like a skill that you acquired like in adulthood.
No, it's been just building over time. I mean, there's been times where I haven't used it for a while, and so you kind of almost feel like you're starting over, right. But yeah, it's like once you kind of get back, it's like riding a bike. Like you figure it out again. But I've been building on it since junior high.
Okay. Because I just know I followed you on social media forever, and I just like one day you were just on that bitch speaking Spanish. I'm like, okay, I guess she didn't got the what they go Rosetta Stone or something.
I mean, yeah, it can be done, pretty quickly. I know a few people who've picked it up, in a matter of a couple years. You just gotta use it, immerse yourself.
Immerse yourself in the Espanol.
Yeah, no, for real. Like how you live your life in English, you literally just need to translate it. So like when you're thinking in your head, you looking at stuff, you start saying, okay, this is la mesa, this is la computadora, this is el microfono, and you just start.
And I know it's kind of like the way you just said that. It's like, when people, like, they assume that if you put L in front of a word, that just makes it Spanish. Right? Like you just say El microfono. I'm like, oh, that's just...
El man.
Right.
El mano.
Yeah, that didn't help it at all. So, how long you been playing guitar?
So I just picked it up I think during the pandemic. I had bought the guitar before the pandemic, but I wasn't really pick it up here and there, and I was frustrating myself. So I didn't really start committing to it until in the middle of the pandemic, because I was I thought we were gonna die, and I was like, okay, I don't want to die and not know how to play guitar. How am I getting to heaven? Because I've done so many bad things, and this is probably my only redeeming quality.
So you gonna get up there and bust an ill-ass guitar solo?
Come on, Michael, let me in here.
You know what? Go ahead and let her in, Joe.
She
just killed that stairway to heaven.
You know what I mean? I mean, Prince gonna be back there come on, I can work with her. But yeah, so I just I said, let me just go ahead and knock this out, and so I've just been working on it. I'm not awesome yet. I'm actually have a lesson tonight.
Nice.
Yeah, I just said, let me find some old black guy to berate me, and he's doing a great job. He's like, I'm missing my Thursday night football for this. You better be practicing. Okay, sir. Randy gonna get me together.
How long you been taking lessons with Randy?
I literally just started. So my first lesson was right before the Thursday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So up until that, you just been teaching yourself?
Yeah, YouTube and just playing songs I like.
Yeah, that's the way my kid has been doing it. She's had some lessons, but she's really just been kind of teaching herself.
Yeah, a lot of the greats, a lot of the famous rock and blues guitarists really just taught themselves.
Yeah, I mean, she has a bass though because she plays the cello.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's bass, pun intended.
Right. I thought you literally meant bass, but I got you.
No. Yeah, because she plays the cello. Uh-huh. So, string instruments, and so she knows how to read music and all that stuff. So she has a starting point. But she's definitely come a long way, from the little bit of time that she's been playing.
Yeah. I saw you got her. Did you get her Strat recently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
That's so cool. I love a supportive dad.
Yeah, she was pretty excited too, because we went, because she had got this amp, so she already had kind of had a hand-me-down guitar to start off with, so she had got an amp and she couldn't get it to work. She thought she needed a new cable, so we went to Guitar Center and she thought we were just going to get the cable. So I was just like, oh yeah, and so I was, we normally, because we go to Guitar Center all the time, and sometimes I'll be having to get stuff, sometimes she needs stuff. So whenever she goes in there, we'll play around. I mess around the drums or some shit. She'll play with the guitar for a second. Yeah. So I was just letting her play, see which ones you really like. And when she settled on one, I was just like, all right, you want it?
Nice.
Yeah. It was
all out.
Yeah, I definitely. Well, no.
Let me know when you're trying to go to me.
It was no.
But was it her? What was wrong with her amp?
Nothing.
So it wasn't the cable?
It wasn't the cable. She just didn't know what she was doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because sometimes it do be the cables. Don't be treating her.
No. It does.
I'm with you, Nia. Sometimes it be the cables.
Yeah, sometimes. Not this time, though.
Okay.
Not that
That's like my daughter. She's like, my charger doesn't work on my phone. I'm like, you literally have it wound up like this, bent 50 ways.
To be quick to say some shit don't work.
Oh, yeah, because it's my money.
They say, just buy a new one.
No, I'm going to get some duct tape, and we going to see then.
Right, we going to exhaust all possibilities first.
Period.
Yeah. But, so, like I said before, I think you're fucking hilarious.
Thank you.
So, I kind of just want your opinion on some things. First off, weird story I just saw. I don't know if you saw this. Skynet. You know, you're a nerd. You know
Skynet.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah.
Yes.
D-Day.
Let me stop. Go ahead.
So San Francisco now has robots that they can use.
I just saw that. Riza Islam posted it, and I just hit the link. And he had me rolling because he was on somebody's podcast. He was like, y'all think y'all got a gun? What's that going to do? He was like, what you going to do with a master killer? He got robotic dogs, robotic mosquitoes, and kill you, and you don't even know what killed you. You know what I'm saying? He was like, but you over there talking about my 4-5, click. So true though. But yeah, that's wild. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying, so they're authorized for the robots to use deadly force.
Yeah.
They say in extremely limited situations when the risk to loss of life to members of the public or officers is imminent and outweighs any other force option available. So that definitely sounds like a judgment call.
Oh yeah.
So
like, who makes that call?
How long do you think before they just got robots out here killing niggas?
I know, right? Time frame.
Like the over under how many months you think?
I don't know. I feel like if anything's gonna go completely left, it's gonna be after 2024.
Why after 2024?
Well, the election.
Because of Trump.
Yeah, the election. Because that's gonna bring all of the crazy out. You know, because they're already pushing us to these, really radicalized points of like where we want to be as a nation, and conservatives are strange, liberals are strange. Like some of the stuff that I hear coming from the left is like, y'all know y'all sound just like them. You just saying something different, but you're literally going the same direction.
It's just one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it's pretty. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you vote?
I did, but I mostly vote just to hate, so I like vote all of the judges out. Bitch, I don't even know who you is. I ain't never heard you, but bad. Sound like a racist.
So I definitely be on there. The people I don't know, I just try to find the blackest name possible.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, like Lakeisha, she gotta be black.
Shantilla Jenkins gonna be white as hell. Gonna get your ass fucked up.
Right. She's actually Irish.
All right.
The fuck? Who would have thought that?
Jenkins from the south of Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, but I am, because the election time is always just so wild. Mm-hmm. Because it's just so much crazy, like, especially with these ads now. Man, the type of shit that it's almost like you're watching a movie, like, in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's just like, like a satire.
Yeah.
But it's just like, now it's actually real fucking life.
Remember Head of State with Chris Rock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're living that every election.
Idiocracy.
Mm-hmm.
You had that dude that what state was he in? Maybe Louisiana. They said next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead.
Yeah. I'm like, nigga, I trust crackheads more than you any day. Okay.
I mean, but the thing is, this is real though.
Yeah.
Like, you would think this would be like a skit on Saturday Night Live. Like, nah. They recorded this, they edited it, it went through a whole and people approved this. Oh yeah, we gonna fuck them up with this one. This gonna win the election for us right here.
Yeah.
It's just.
But they only feed us what they know we'll consume.
And for those far right people, like, and Trump definitely opened up the door for a new era of politics, and there's no going back.
No,
there's no there's no going back now. The cat is out the bag, and it's forever changed. You know what I'm saying? Because it was to that point. Because I'll never forget the day after Trump won. Everybody was just like, no. Like, how did this happen?
Right.
How he just said grab him by the pussy like 3 weeks ago.
Nobody cared.
And he still won.
Wasn't my pussy. That's how they felt.
I mean, how, it's just like, how.
Some people want their pussy grabbed, truth be told, but, consent, guys.
Definitely ask before you grab the pussy.
Or the balls.
Yeah. Do you ever really want to grab those, though? I mean, people be
in a non-violent scenario, no. You get too close to me at Chase Bank, though.
Why are you so close to me?
I gotta protect this $200.
Nah, but it's really kind of crazy to see how radicalized people are now, and it's kind of scary. Actually, when you think about it, when you try to look at things from like a rational point of view, and it's just like you realize that like people out here are really insane,
wilding,
and these are people in government, right? Like these are people that we're supposed to trust to make decisions for all of us,
right?
And they are completely fucking unhinged.
But I feel like the key is they were always unhinged. It's just now it's okay to say some of this stuff out loud.
Yeah, because just like Trump said all that and he got elected. So
clearly people were thinking it and they were happy somebody gave them a voice.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if COVID hadn't happened and Trump hadn't made, if COVID hadn't been such a shit show, he probably would have gotten reelected.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's kind of interesting now because so there is a divide within, because after these midterms, all the Trump Republicans that were supposed to get elected, that was running all these crazy campaigns, a lot of them didn't get elected, even though you still got Herschel Walker as, which is, it's so crazy when you see he always got like Ted Cruz or somebody that's sitting next to him in the interview. It's just like, it's almost like he got his hand like it's a puppet.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and this dude said something about like he said erection instead of election, like, and this dude is in a runoff.
Okay, like I have not been watching this guy at all because I just know it's all. But I really kind of tuned out of politics as a whole because it's so low vibrational, and no, really, it keeps you in. It's just funny
because you know that word is that phrase is a little controversial now. Ever since.
Oh really?
You ever seen that where the little girl was talking about that she had a low vibrational plate?
Oh yeah.
So now it's kind of a thing. But please finish your thought. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm just saying politics is very low vibrational. Like if you remember House of Cards with Kevin Spacey.
I never watched it.
Okay.
Damn shame what happened with Kevin Spacey. He was such a great actor.
And he ruined that show. He fucking ruined that show by being a fucking weird perv. But
definitely a weird perv.
A weirdo. And so, but yeah, if you ever watch that show, it very much is telling of like how these people are fearful, controlling. You know, a lot of just like I said, low vibrational, meaning like you have no control over your root chakra, your fight or flight. Like everything's about, you know, what can I get out of this, and squeezing the blood out of an orange. You know, it's just it comes out into the politics, and everything's a pendulum. So that's what it's: two parties, two sides on one coin, and they just keep you thinking that one side is going to do better, but really both sides hate you. Both sides are making money. When you look at the political donors, they're giving money to both sides. Yeah. You look at these corporations, they're paying both parties off. Nancy Pelosi, she has so many shady dealings with, you know, stocks and investment. Definitely did insider trading. Because how would you not? Like, you are writing, you're making a break in the regulation. Yeah.
So of course you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it to benefit you, and that's the thing with politics now, is like everybody in Congress and Senate, they're all like millionaires.
Yeah.
Right. So there's no way,
and not from their salary.
No.
From Congress, but from investing in other ventures
and other things, right? So it's just like, so how are these people really supposed to make decisions for like regular people? They're completely out of touch. Remember, and they're going to do things to benefit themselves.
Right. Remember when they had her? She was on some interview when everybody was quarantined, and she was talking about the pandemic and talking about, I feed the people, and then she pulls open her $1,000 freezer with her really exclusive chocolate bars, and like, I'm like, what? You're so out of touch. I feed the people.
It was like when they was up there with the kente cloth on. You remember that?
Oh my God! I just threw up in my mouth. It was so bad.
It's just like, who decided that this was a good idea?
See, I would have caught they bluff. I would be like, all right, now recite the principles of Kwanzaa.
Sing the Black National Anthem.
Kuji Chakalia. How black are you?
Sing the theme to Good Times right now.
Right. Had a Curtis Mayfield quiz. Right.
Yeah, man. Well, no, it's a wild time, man. It's definitely a really fucking interesting time to be alive. Like the way history and the things that are happening now. I mean, you know, you kind of hope that things are gonna like come back to a little bit of normal, but it's just like, what the fuck is normal now?
Right.
Between Trump getting elected and then that whole pandemic thing happening.
Yeah.
And with because I was talking about that the other day with somebody, man, and just how crazy people were about the vaccines. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, now all of a sudden nobody cares about being vaccinated or anything like that. Despite so many people like had their businesses closed, lost their jobs.
Yeah, and you see them New Yorkers getting back pay.
They got that back pay, yeah, because it was just like, I mean, but it's not only that, the way it divided people, the way if you were scared or like wary about getting vaccinated, how people talked about you, how people treated you, you know, and now you look at them and like, shit, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
maybe
absolutely.
it was right.
There's I just saw a Rumble, Dr. Drew. I don't know if you remember Dr. Drew. He used to do a show with Adam Carolla. Yeah. So he has a Rumble podcast, and he was talking to, I forgot the doctor's name, but they were talking about people are showing up in the morgue. They're not studying it with foot-long blood clots. And like certain things that he was saying, indicators of something's wrong, and like what was the biggest change that we had in the last few years to people's health? The vaccine and coronavirus. So it's like, you need to study, like, why is this happening? And he's like, not to alarm people, like everybody's not going to just die suddenly of a blood clot, but it's like, okay, why are we not exploring these things? It was always, part of science was robust debate and robust studying, and like, you have your hypotheses and I'm gonna prove you wrong. And we do that to come to, a better understanding of health, because lives are at stake. But now it's just like, oh, you can't, they shut so many doctors up and shut down their Twitters.
You could not question. And for me, it was like, I felt like everybody should be able to decide what they want to do with their body. Right. And if you had your reasons for wanting to get vaccinated, if you had your reasons for not wanting to get vaccinated, Absolutely. And I just never thought. So you had your people that were obviously on the extreme side, and like they injecting us with robots and all this other stuff.
The chips and G5.
Okay, all right. But I felt like it was completely reasonable. It's just like, hey, they haven't had time to test this.
Right. We were the test.
Yeah, we were the test.
And still are. It usually takes like 10 years to figure this out.
So that's what I'm saying. So none of us really knows like how this is going to affect.
Right.
And but so it's just like, so for people to be like, hey, you know what? I want to wait this out a little bit.
Yeah.
And people like, this doesn't mean I'm not going to take precautions. Right. It doesn't mean I'm just going to be out here all willy-nilly coughing on people or whatever. But I don't want to take the shot.
Right.
And they made you seem like you were the scum of the earth. Like you didn't care about anybody. Like you didn't care about people.
They lumped you in with the G5 people.
Right, yeah.
You like can't do your own research.
Right.
I looked at CNN and they said take it. CNN, who's paid by Pfizer, endorsed by Pfizer. But go ahead, go off.
Yeah, man. It was definitely a wild time. Listen, we might want to talk about too much. You know what I'm saying? You fuck around. Silence us.
The peoples. Yeah. Fuck them peoples.
Yeah, man.
No, it's going down though. Like it's so much changing in the cosmos. Like I'm a very, astrological person. So we're living in some bleak stuff right now, but I feel like it's giving rise to a lot of the people who are truth seekers and light seekers, and like it's really making you go, okay, like if I don't speak up for what I believe now, like it's like now or never. And I think it's bringing out the best in better people.
That's real.
The worst and worst people, but the best and better people. So,
Yeah, it's that's just an interesting juxtaposition against those. Like it truly is, man. It's just like, because you see, like we talk about the worst in people. We've definitely seen the worst that humanity had. Well, let me not say the worst, because shit could always get.
Yeah.
People were hoarding toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was just like,
like
when it first started, man, I remember when people was picking up their kids from school and spraying them down with Lysol.
Yeah.
It was just, oh man, it was such a weird time.
Trust the science. And Fauci's he's on trial now, and that's not even in the news.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because for the censorship, for what he actually knew, it's come out that he knew the masks were not working, but he was just saying whatever to keep people doing whatever, and his investments in NIH and the Wuhan gain of function, and yep.
Interesting.
And they're trying not to let it come out, the testimony come out publicly, but they're going to have to, I think a judge is eventually like, nah, y'all can't do that, bro.
Well, that's going to be interesting.
Nobody's going to pay attention to it.
I'm just really, what are we going to think about this? We're in 2022. Let's just say in 2028.
Right.
What are we going to think about this? How much more are we going to know?
Right.
Especially because this is going to have more time because people, and then you have people, I mean, you're talking about people have gotten second and third, fourth boosters, you know?
I think it was India or somewhere they said they're not doing boosters. Oh, Australia, I think it was. I can't remember. But one of these countries that was like really all about like, we're following the CDC and who, the WHO guidelines. But then they were like, nah, we're not recommending like multiple boosters every year. Like, no, this is too much.
Yeah, it's wild because, China is locking down again.
Yeah.
So that's a whole, China is kind of there's so much shit going on.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's just like, because with China, and you got the whole thing with Taiwan, but that's been going on for a while, but that's kind of coming to a head, and you got everything going on with Russia and Ukraine.
And what's the common denominator with all of that shit? Normally, U.S. foreign policy. Interesting, and very interesting that they clearly like have their hands in multiple pots, and they like to go, oh, we don't know what's happening over there.
Yeah,
like,
why are they doing that?
Like I have this base like a mile away from their border, but no,
but you have
I don't know.
no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy how that happened. Yeah, man. So speaking of crazy, did you see that Nas and 21 Savage just released a song together?
I saw the story, but I didn't. I was like, what? But I remember 21 Savage had called him irrelevant or something. Right. Was that like unprovoked?
So, people love to run with a line, and he was not. I think people just took that one line, and they just people want to be able to talk about shit. You know what I'm saying?
They take it out of context.
Have hot takes. Yeah. And I never thought 21 Savage was trying to be disrespectful. Okay. I think he was just saying that Nas, right now, in terms of hip hop culture and popular culture, I should say, isn't necessarily culturally relevant. And I don't really disagree with that.
And I'm sure Nas is okay with that. I mean, he got his base, and
Yeah, and Nas is not hurting. Yeah, Nas is not hurting. You know what I'm saying, for money at all. And obviously, he wasn't hurt that bad because they ended up doing a song together. Okay. I just thought it was really dope to see like where people were trying to turn this into something like old generation versus new generation, and Nas was just like, nah, fuck all that.
Squash it.
Yeah. And then he just came up with something, and the song is actually dope.
Okay, I gotta listen to it. It's out already.
Yeah, it's out. It's out. I don't think it's a part of a project, and it was just literally, and that's kind of the beauty of things now, because it don't necessarily have to be an album. People just be dropping songs. Yeah. But that shit on Spotify. See how many streams he gets. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it didn't take him long, because I feel like that shit just happened like last week. Right. When he said the whole thing, but it's just kind of like what the internet does. Yeah. They just take shit way out of context, and people are always looking for clicks and views.
Yeah, clickbait. Yeah.
So whatever they feel like they can take, and that was like, oh, he said Nas ain't relevant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Without even really like taking in context for the whole statement. And maybe, he could have worded that a little bit better. Yeah. But I knew what he was trying to say. And 21 Savage I don't think that anybody that makes it to that level and stays on for that long is you can't be stupid. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have some intelligence, man. So I don't think I think he knew what he was doing. Yeah. I think he knew what he was saying, and he probably knew that people were gonna like go and run with it. Yeah. And I don't think he gave a fuck. Obviously he doesn't. And at the end of the day, now it's birthed something that's gonna benefit the both of them. Absolutely. Which I feel like more of that needs to happen. Yeah. Like, that's how that shit needs to be handled. Like, fuck the internet, fuck with all these people, because everybody wants beef. Everybody wants to see beef. That's what people are entertained by.
And they were like Nas was like the father of that anyway with the whole Jay-Z thing, right? I mean, they turned around and did a whole album together after they whole beef. Not right after, but
it was a long time.
Yeah, well, not a whole album. They did a couple tracks on each other's.
Yeah, albums. They didn't do an album. Yeah, but they've done multiple songs together. Yeah. But I feel like, it was different back then. Like, that was real beef. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they ever really, like, to the point where
talking about his baby mama and all that.
Because I always said, because there's that debate where, like, well, who won that battle? And just like, obviously it was Nas. Because you know how when somebody won, because Jay-Z came back and got real personal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was just, okay, now I gotta talk about your baby mama and all this. You know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, Nas created a verb. Yeah. Right? Like, people say, like, you got ethered now. Yeah. Nobody was saying that before Nas dropped that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, and it's really, and it's cool to just see, like, him now and just be so above all of that. Mm-hmm. I mean, back then it was kind of like, people clashing at the top. Mm-hmm. Nas was at that time, everybody considered Nas to be the best rapper, like lyrically.
Yeah.
People were saying Big was the best after he died. Before Biggie died, everybody was just like Nas is the best.
Okay. Yeah.
From what I remember.
No, I can see that.
And even with because remember Jay-Z said that who's the best MCs, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas, right? So, and obviously he gonna put him, himself.
Insert himself. As
Yeah. Even though, I mean, lyrically Jay is obviously a giant.
Yeah.
I mean, he held his own. I mean, and the takeover was, even though the takeover wasn't completely dedicated to Nas, because he went at a few people on that song.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah.
Say, oh wait, he wasn't even going for the rest of y'all. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, but just to see them now, with both of them are just kind of like in their perspective, almost like you say, their own kingdoms. Like they're going to build. I mean, obviously, culturally, Jay-Z has probably done more for hip hop. Like especially you talking about from a business perspective and things. He's like the influence that he's had on the culture.
Right.
Nas never really had that overall. Like maybe the way people were rapping, but Nas never really had Nas wasn't really changing the way people dress. Like Jay-Z was changing the way.
Yeah.
Like Jay-Z was wearing throwbacks. He's like, okay, now we're not wearing throwbacks. We're wearing button-ups. Now everybody threw their throwbacks away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we got to wear collar shirts. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z has kind of always been a person that kind of moved the needle.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that Nas, he's definitely like standing on his own in terms of like one of the kings.
Yeah.
So that was a very king-like thing for him to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the kings, you always want, you don't want to start a war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to keep the peace. Yeah, you want to keep the peace at all costs. So for him to do that, reach out like, yeah, let's do a song together. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was really dope. I'm surprised you hadn't heard that.
I saw the story. I just ain't.
But you ain't heard. But you didn't hear the song.
No, I was recovering from alcohol. I'm gonna check it out though. I just hope the rap girls can get into some of that because I'm sick of that shit right now.
So it's funny that you bring it up because I was gonna ask you about that because a few nights ago I was at a friend of mine's house, right, and they were just playing music. We was playing cards, talking shit or whatever, and it was all like women rap playing. And after a while, I'm talking about after an hour, and the only thing I heard was sex and money. Like legit. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that that's always been a part of hip hop, right? People have always talked about that. But every motherfucking song, and I never want to be that guy, you know what I'm saying? That because I think it's really dope the amount of women MCs that we have now. Because I don't think there's any point in history in terms of hip hop where we've had as many women rappers as we do now, and popular ones. People are out there like really making them like hits. You know what I'm saying? Because you really used to only have like one or two. You know what I'm saying, at a time, right? You would have like MC Lyte or Queen Latifah. Then you had Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown. Nicki Minaj was pretty much by herself for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But you
can't say that. That's what got Lotto in trouble.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh yeah, that shit was so messy. So Lotto did an interview and had just barely mentioned what you said. And everybody else understood her. Nicki was kind of by herself for a while, and there weren't as many, affluent, out there
right.
Female rappers, and then now you have a lot of us kind of all on the same level, kind of all getting it with each other. Right. And Nicki took that as her chance to take a shot at Lotto, and it just went all downhill from there.
Oh, well, why would Nicki take offense to that?
Nicki is a narcissist, bro. She's weird as hell. She went on a whole thing, and so Lotto released a recording of them on the phone, where she was basically saying the same thing, you think you're on the same level as me, and you don't think that something about us, you trying to say that I wasn't letting the other girls get their shine at the time, and she's like, that's not what I was saying, and you keep putting words in my mouth. But I don't know. I feel like Nicki's Nikki has always kind of she's doing now what she thinks Kim was doing to her, and nobody ever really saw Kim doing that to her. I don't even think Kim was in a position to do that to her.
So I remember that vaguely. I think what Kim was on was basically like, hey, you know, you got your style from me,
right?
So acknowledge that,
right?
You know, this is not your style. You know what I'm saying? This is you took from the Lil' Kim blueprint. Yeah. Right? So just acknowledge it. Yeah. But I don't think because Kim wasn't, by that time, Kim had fell off.
Yeah,
right?
she wasn't really out there like that.
Yeah, Kim wasn't putting out music, you know, for real.
Right, but Nikki's still out here and I feel like right now she's really ruining her own legacy by being so catty. Like, you really need to just, like, take a Nas approach and just embrace the new people and, you know, ignore whatever you got to ignore and just keep it pushing.
Speaking of ruining legacy, what you think about the baby? Do you follow that? And how he's kind of like... Right, he fell
all the way off, and just like Saweetie, same thing with her. I don't know what exactly is going on with her, but they said she only sold like 2,000 units.
I'm not really familiar with her either.
Yeah, it's so like the baby, like the cancel culture shit is wild, but he should have been canceled long before that gay shit. Like, you know what I mean? Because like they said he shot somebody in a Walmart. Like,
so apparently that was self-defense.
Okay.
So, but he been tripping for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and he had the whole thing with Danny Lay.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
And you know he been kind of wilding for a minute. You know, but now it's just kind of like his concert tickets ain't been selling, and you know and it just seemed because he was like. The baby, you could argue, might have been like the biggest star in hip hop for like a hot second. Yeah, like he was doing songs like Dua Lipa, like a cultural pop star. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, a global pop star. Excuse me. Yeah. And you know, and then, but none of that other stuff mattered, right? I mean, people would talk about him, but once he said that in Rolling Loud, that's when they really started to like, okay, you're not doing no more show.
Was that the nail in the coffin, or do you think it was something after that? Because I feel like it took a while. Like, maybe I missed it, but I felt like it took a while to die off. But maybe it did. Just that was it.
I don't know. I just know he hasn't been able to achieve that same level of success. Yeah. Like afterwards, it just. I mean, he's still out there. He's still relevant. And I know he said some stuff about Meg, and you know, Meg is kind of like a Beyonce-ish in terms of her cult following, where you really can't say too much bad about her. You know, how do you like Meg?
I love Meg, so I guess I'm in a cult.
Really?
Yeah, I love Meg, but like, I mean, you can't get to this point where these people can do no wrong. Like, you got to be able to say, okay, call him out. Just like R. Kelly. Like, I love R. Kelly's music. I cringe sometimes when I listen to 12 Play, knowing that I was like 12 listening to that shit, and now knowing
he could have been talking about you,
right? And like, I actually worked at a mall where I saw him like in Victoria's Secret, like during like. In like what was that? Orland Mall, because he had a house out there.
Yeah. Olympia, was it Olympia Fields?
I think he had one in Orland.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so he would be out there at the mall, and like during like summer daytime hours when it ain't nothing but little girls in there. And I was just sitting there just looking at him like, this motherfucker right here. And, you would always, we grew up in Chicago, you always heard these rumors about him. So you knew, what he was on. But it's like, you got to separate the music, if the art from, I always say this, like, unless y'all gonna go back and y'all gonna tell Thomas Edison, like, imagine Thomas Edison, we found out was raping and beating hoes. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna not use lights no more? Like, let's be real here. Like, you can separate. Y'all know how to do it when it's convenient.
I mean, so I definitely, I feel what you're saying, because I was saying this a while ago. It's funny that this came up, because, you go through Facebook memories. Mm-hmm. And when the whole Bill Cosby thing first came up, R. Kelly was still out here living his best life, right? And I was just saying, okay, like, so why are y'all so, and I wasn't choosing sides, it was just like, y'all got all this energy for Bill, but y'all don't really care. But R. Kelly been doing this, been known
to do it.
There was video evidence,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That people widely circulate, which I always thought was really fucking weird.
Yeah.
But that's a dark moment in history for me.
But it's not history, because these same people are still out here defending free my man R. Kelly. Like, I'm never gonna be out here like, get Kells out of jail. Like, no, Kells is where he needs to be.
So that's my thing with Kells, right? Okay, if you still want to listen to R. Kelly, I feel like that's a personal choice. Yeah, I don't care if you still want to listen to him. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. I'm not one of those people that's just like, nah, you can't play him nowhere. For me, it's a little weird listening to certain songs.
Yeah.
Right? When you talk about, like, especially with me having a daughter.
Yeah.
And so when you listen to certain songs, it's just like, this makes me a little uncomfortable now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of fucked up because he made some amazing music.
Right.
Right? But at the same time, it's just like, if you got to go hard for the free R. Kelly, it's just like, bro, he's a pedophile.
Like, please find another mission.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you? This is the hill you want to die on,
bro?
The R. Kelly hill? Like, this is what you want to do?
That immediately gets you put into the never will be in my vicinity list, like,
yeah. or around my children.
Absolutely not.
Fucking crazy.
Never.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird. But speaking of weird things that people do, how's your dating life going?
Ooh, he put me on the spot. I felt that gut punch. It was right there. Child. I don't know. Right now, it's weird because now with me being more like out there, like it was already kind of shaky before.
I'm really not trying to pry into your personal life, right? But the reason I'm asking you is because, like, you know, you're very opinionated, and I hear you talk a lot about stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, especially what you see on the internet, it would appear, at least, that black men and black women have a very, very toxic relationship with each other.
Yeah, in general, yeah.
And in some ways, yeah, but I don't think it's anywhere near as people try to perpetrate. I think this more so, like, we live in the time of clicks and views. So people just be go in there and say shit just to get a wild reaction out of people sometimes. Yeah. But we do have some issues.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, as like a single black woman out, be cool to say. I probably should have asked you that beforehand, but but as a single black woman out here, like, how do you feel about like just dating and all of that now?
It's like I was trying to say, it's weird because, like, now that I'm more out there, it's hard for me to even say what it would be like because I feel like people already. Okay, so, like, one thing I noticed, the most concise way I can explain this is, like, so now I started salsa Latin dancing, right?
Right.
And so, as a black woman being in that space, we're very in the minority a lot of times, but the black women that are out there, like, we're out there, right? And I mean, naturally, so we got rhythm, we're sassy, we're killing it, right? And so, like, so with the dance culture, like, people will walk up to you and ask you to dance, and it doesn't matter if, like, you brought your partner with you. Like, it's kind of like a known thing. Like, you come in there with your date, if you're sitting down and you're not dancing and he's dancing, I'm gonna walk up to him and ask him, can he do one? And you'll see that too. That's another thing. Women will approach men to dance. So a lot of that kills a lot of, like, the dynamic of, like, women have to be approached all the time, you know. And so that aspect of it kind of has made me more open to, like, being a little more upfront, because I'll slide in a DM here and there. Okay. I ain't got no problem with that. Okay. But I feel like I've noticed, though, like, so when I'm out as a black woman and there are other black guys there, I've noticed, like, a lot of the black guys will only approach non-black girls. And, I know they're, like, not to put myself up there, so I will say, like, I know other black girls that are out there dancing that are, like, great dancers, and you will see the black guys, not, I don't know if it's intentional, but they will not approach the other black girls. Like, not all of them, but I've noticed that it's just this thing where it's like the black guys want to be with the non-black girls.
That's interesting.
It's very, and I'm just trying to figure that out. Like, what is that about? So I was just, it's to me, I feel like, as far as me being out there more and just seeing how black men are I think black men are very afraid of black women.
Really?
I don't want to say that, but I really feel like that's the overall feeling I'm getting of everything I'm consuming right now. It's like, it's more like fear than anything else. And I mean, it would make sense too. Like, if your mom was black and, you know, maybe she put the fear of God in you, and you know what I mean? And so now, you know, there's certain lines you don't want to cross. And of course the Me Too movement.
Right.
And, you know, and then so black women are like, we're very opinionated usually and, you know, expressive. And so that gets taken a lot of times the wrong way. I feel like too with the whole like the twerk culture and shit.
Twerk culture.
I call it a culture. It is. I mean, it's become this thing where like everybody's shaking their ass, right? And
it is a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah, and so what was it? Stacey Abrams had the weird girl that does all like the dances and shit in the video. Like she's trying to get her man back and she's just dancing all crazy. She had her in one of her ads. Like
I didn't see that.
Yeah, craziness. So everybody's shaking their ass, for views and shit, and whatever else. But I feel like, so there's this guy I found, he's like Professor Odie or something. He does a podcast on Black relationships and stuff, and he's a licensed like therapist or whatever. But he takes more of he talks about men and women, but he does try to hold men more accountable, as I feel like he should, because it's like, you're a man, like you should be able to talk to other men, because me as a woman, I'm not gonna be able to tell a man what he needs to do as a man. He's not gonna listen to me.
Right.
But he I like the approach that he takes, and just like really making men understand that a lot of the stuff Black men you're putting on Black women is you looking at Black women through the lens of white supremacy. So like you're looking at Black women like they should be, this I did an episode about this traditional woman, and it's like, what is a traditional Black woman? Like we were slaves, if you're talking about here in the U.S., and then we were sharecroppers' wives, and then we were like, trying to make businesses or whatever, getting our Tulsa Black Wall Street on or whatever, and then, of course, fear after being blown to hell to smithereens, and then crack, drugs, civil rights, right? Civil rights. Right. Watching your man get beat up on the sidewalk.
Right, yeah.
And then now,
mass incarceration.
Right. Yeah. And so it's like, and then hip hop culture. And so it's like, where do we as women have time to be traditional? What is our tradition?
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that, because like that term modern woman has become kind of like a derogatory thing. It was just like, with these modern women, like, and it's really kind of weird. It's because I was gonna ask you, because you said you'll slide in the DM, but there's this whole thing where like would that be like living in your masculine energy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like that's not the role that you're supposed to play. You're not supposed to be doing that. Then the man is supposed to be the pursuer and all this other stuff. It just seems like everybody has like this strict version of what a man and a woman are supposed to do. Right. I mean, and it's on both sides a lot. And you see, like, when it's like, sometimes I feel like with men, and when you hear them talk about a lot of this stuff, it's just like, the submission is always a big word. But a lot of times it's just like, kind of sounds like you want servitude. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but then there's on the side with women, and it's just like, a lot of times men are reduced to like what we can provide, right? What we can do financially, right? And I mean, and obviously we have our roles in our society and what we're supposed to do, but I mean, and then if you really look at it, like all of that shit is kind of archaic at this point, because how many one income households? You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. I mean, you been to the grocery store lately? Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like. So I
be trying to get that organic shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That shit costs money, right? So it's just like, but you'll hear people say that like women that are high earners are less desirable, and it's just like,
yeah, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, well, like what you want to bring to the table? Like shit, how about we both have a table and we bring the motherfuckers together and we can have a buffet? You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's so for me, it's just like, okay, everybody has this definition, and it's like, everybody just needs to do what works for them. Yeah. If you want to pursue a man, then what's wrong with that? Right. You know what I'm saying? Then there might be a man that may not have it, just like, oh, now he's, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. So, and I don't think there's anything wrong in this. And I feel like the terms masculine and feminine energy are so fucking overused to the point where I'm just tired of, I'm tired of hearing that shit. And it really kind of prevents people from coming together in a sense.
Yeah, nobody is yielding. Nobody wants to compromise. Like, people are stuck, like you said, in these very like rigid ideas of what they're looking for, and usually it's based on some shit they heard from somebody else, not what really rings true for you or what is what you need in your life. Like, at the end of the day, if you're partnering with somebody, it's somebody that you're supposed to come together to be greater in unison, but you should be two wholes that come together to make a better whole, because you're not always going to be whole, right? Like, some days you're not feeling yourself, or some days you might not be at your best, your capacity, or
I saw something the other day that said, like relationships are hardly ever going to be 50-50.
Right.
And it's going to change.
Right.
Sometimes it's going to be 70-30 one way. Sometimes it's going to be 70-30 the other way.
Right.
Sometimes it's going to be 90-10.
Right.
Sometimes it's going to be 100-0.
Right.
It depends.
Right.
I mean, people go through a lot of things in life. And when you talk about being with somebody for the long haul,
right.
I mean, people can go through changes. You know what I'm saying? And so you really just need to be worried about what's going on with you and your partner and your household and fuck what everybody else thinks. Because a lot of times, these people that are out here giving all this unsolicited ass advice don't have relationships and marriages to speak of on their own.
Right.
So it's just, or the shit that they do have is not what you think it is.
Right.
I.e., what was it, dude, Derek Jackson, that whole, you remember?
Oh my God. I forgot all about that. Oh my God. That was horrendous.
Yeah, and then they did the whole video. She was sitting there with the bonnet, and it was just, oh my God. That was so weird.
It was so cringe.
Yeah.
But I mean, it goes to show you. And then like people were, tripping about, how she gonna take them back, and it's like, y'all gotta stay out of other people's relationships. Like Cardi B and Offset, like they talk about how much he's cheated on her or whatever. But it's like they got kids, they got their legacy. You can't watch their pockets. You can't,
Man, you don't know what's going on between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
In their relationship, and even with people that are public. You still not gonna know everything,
right?
And that be the thing. These people out here talking about like these celebrity relationships, like they know everything that's going on. Like you don't know.
You don't know.
And furthermore, why do you care so much?
Right.
That's really the thing with me. It's just like why do you put so much energy into it? Why do you care?
They see themselves in these people, and they just want to live vicariously through them. But yeah, it's fucked up because it's like even with like with cheating, I don't know. Like I really think we should explore too as Black people, because we've taken on a lot of like Christian values. You know what I mean? Because colonialism and all of that, right?
Of course.
So like, but what in nature? Like I feel like whenever I'm confused about what I should be doing, how I should construct my life, I look at form and function and like nature and like how things work.
Right.
On a basic level, because birds and animals they're not worried about all this dumb shit we worried about. They're living their lives. They ain't even fucking paying taxes. You know what I mean? Squirrel in my motherfucking garage tearing my shit up ain't paid a damn thing.
Not a fucking thing.
He's happy, Yeah. And so like you can learn from that. So I feel like you look at a lot of animals in nature where like polyamorous, relationships are out. It's like what ultimately is the goal is like procreation and like, moving the culture forward or moving your community forward. And it's like, if what's his name? Who was the one? Martin Luther King. They said he was cheating or something, and Coretta, that was you didn't see Coretta like out on the news going, motherfucking Malcolm out here, let these hoes. I saw him hitting on Rosa Parks in the back of the bus. It was none of that.
Yeah. And also, that's just not something that like that was definitely a time where like people did not get divorced. You know what I'm saying? Like, and especially somebody that in that prominent a role.
Yeah. Like
that, and it's just like a different time now, and that also harkens back to when people talk about modern women. It was a time where like, women really just like, you were just seen and not heard.
Yeah, that too.
You just got to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And you weren't really working. You ain't got no job. So just okay, where you going? But what you gonna do for yourself?
I feel like the other side of that is though, I feel like women back then, the ones who may have been so-called doing it right, I can't say that they were, but I feel like the best thing about being a woman in some of those situations is the ability to quietly lead. Like a lot of women don't realize like we have influence in men, but we go about it the wrong way.
Y'all run everything, to be quite honest with you. Because it's just like, I mean, you look at any household, you go ask your daddy, what he gonna say? Ask your mama. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, mama is really the one that holds everything together, that makes the decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but it's really just kind of like, everybody plays their role. Yeah. Right? Everybody has a part to play. And depending on the relationship between the man and woman, the roles may be different. Yeah. Right? But it's just, I just wish people would just let others live.
That is always my motto.
Because you can really get, because and people aren't necessarily as confident in themselves as they need to be a lot of times. So they'll look at stuff on the internet or see something, and like somebody we talking about a situation that may be very similar to theirs, and whereas they might not thought anything wrong with it, they'll hear something, they'll see it just like, damn, maybe what I thought was good really isn't that great. Right? But you listen to somebody that really has no fucking idea what they're talking about.
Right.
But they're on the internet, they have a camera, and they have a microphone.
Right.
And they sound important.
Right.
So you're going to listen to them. And
they
you're gonna
real Allen.
Hey, I'm not out here. I can't tell you how to do nothing. You hear me? Nothing. Right. I ain't got no advice for you.
We love a humble king.
Man, you got it. You know what I'm saying? All I'm gonna say is, hey man, shit, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Hey, that's wild as hell, Joe. Hey, shit, hey, you like it? I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Real though.
I mean, because if you happy,
right? Do you?
Because that's all life is about: the pursuit of happiness.
I feel like
whatever makes you happy, as long as what involves making you happy, like R. Kelly is not having sex with underage girls. Right. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Then
he's like,
in that case,
hurt nobody.
Right. In that case, don't do you. You should stop doing that immediately. But outside of that, man,
go get you one of them young what's the new toy they got? These gadgets are out of control. The blowjob, like the little
what they call it, the Gawk 4000.
Gawk 4000. I knew it had a stupid ass name I couldn't think of. Yes, go get you your Gawk 4000.
Hey, I can't go. I can't go. It just gotta be so weird. It's just like
you got a pocket blowjob, bro. You got the lube in one pocket, and then what the fuck is you got on?
And they got the pocket pussy.
Right.
They have like a mold of like, it's like a pelvis. They'll have like a mold of like
seen that. Yeah,
women porn stars.
Yeah.
And they'll have like a realistic mold of their vagina.
Who makes the sounds?
And that's the thing. So it's just like, so I'm gonna be.
You slap it, do it wobble.
So it's just like I'm gonna sit here and have sex with a pelvis, but just a plastic pelvis.
So
just
you throw pillows on top of it. You throw pillows on top of it, and then you get the sound recording.
Nah, Joe. I can't. That's too weird for me. But if that's what, it's not illegal. It's perfectly fine. If you want to get you a pocket pussy, a plastic pelvis, a Gawk 4000, hey man. Whatever your bank account.
Explain that STD to your doctor though. You like got some mold, some silicone mold.
Good God. Good God. How do we get here?
It's Alice. We going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, man. But no. I mean, like I said, that's just weird for me.
I think that's part of the problem too, though. Is so many people feel like they can be gratified through like porn and whatever else that they just like. I don't need to like be a good person to this person that I'm having sex with because like I have this plastic thing and it does the same thing.
It's never gonna work. No, it doesn't. There's no way.
They know they're lying. That's why they're so angry. They're online and they're angry because they know they lying.
Yeah. Get you a real vagina.
For real.
Or a real penis. Or just, you know what? Whatever. Just do it.
Or your preferred strap on. I saw a guy talking about that too. They blurred his face out, but he was like, he likes to get pegged. And he's like, that doesn't make me gay. He's like, I want my girl to like strap on and do me. Hey, and there's a gland. Like he really was defending himself.
So there is the prostate is supposed to give you like the most. It's just like
I'm not judging.
I'm not judging either. I'll never know.
You think? Nope. But I thought that was so funny because I was like, so he out here telling everybody he gonna do it and it's great, but his whole face is blurred. Thing.
So would you be okay with your man
if he asked me to?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't judge him. No, I wouldn't. I mean, I just feel like, look, I appreciate somebody that understands what they like. Yeah. Cause I just saw Amanda Seales was on Don't Call Me White Girl podcast, and I just saw a clip. I need to watch the whole thing, but she was like, I didn't know you were supposed to be faking orgasms, and it's like most of the girls in the comments were kind of like letting that go over their head. I'm like, hold on, why are we faking orgasms? Like, no. Yeah, she's like, oh, I was doing it with this guy, and like he was just getting upset because he would go so long, and he would never know when I finished because she wasn't finishing. But Mona, the host, was saying, well, you're supposed to give him that final, so he feels like he accomplished something. It's like unless I'm really just trying to get the fuck out of there and I'm sick of you and I don't want to have this awkward conversation and I'm done, like I'll probably never be back, then I'll give you the and then we're done. But like I'm not just out here like trying to be with guys like regularly, like faking it. That's stupid.
I just fake a cramp. Like if I just want it to be over, if this is not going anywhere. Like, oh shit, I got a Charlie horse.
Oh my god.
I got hold on.
See that my dumb ass would be sitting there like, let me massage it out for you. Now are you better? I'll get on top.
But I know, you know what? I
got some lavender. Look, it's like Wanda. Remember Wanda on the Living Color, right?
Right.
I got some lavender oil right here. You ain't got to go nowhere.
Yeah, nah. But it actually does happen, though. That's why it works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, because like, sometimes that does happen.
Right.
But sometimes it's just like, all right, you know what? Time to fake a cramp.
Shit, she probably left like, I wore that nigga out. He limped up out this motherfucker.
Girl, I had him catching the Charlie horse. I really just wanted you to get the fuck out.
Put his ass in a wheelchair. No white chicks. No white chicks.
I'm limping, walking you to the door, walking normal as fuck. As soon as I close it, motherfucker like,
right.
Thought she was never gonna leave.
Terrible.
I know it's horrible. But I'm not okay. I'm just gonna stop right there.
I don't even know how we got here.
I don't know how we got here either. I don't know, but that's the beauty of it, man. Sometimes, man, you just it's a journey. You just take it, just talking. The next thing you know, you talking about sex toys and faking orgasms and faking cramps to get out of sex, and And I think maybe this is probably where we should end it.
That's the tip. We've reached the peak.
You could say that. The tip. Just the tip. Yeah, man. I was going to ask you a whole other question, but I completely forgot what that was now. But and we've been on here for a while.
Cool.
And I think we've had a pretty good conversation. Some laughs. So. Got a little deep for a second.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about politics and COVID and a whole bunch of other shit that hopefully doesn't get me silenced.
You ain't got nothing to worry about.
If it is, I blame you.
Oh, yeah. I'll be your scapegoat.
It's all her fault.
I'll do the time. You just make sure you send me my commentary.
Oh, I'm going to have to come out and make a statement against you and everything.
Just put money on my books.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I really appreciate you coming on and kicking it with me, man.
Thank you
like I said, you had me as a guest on yours.
Yes.
So I'm definitely glad you returned the favor.
Yeah, of
course. Came and kicked it with me.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful time. We definitely have to do it again sometime later on.
Yes.
Because I definitely want to keep our fellow podcasters. We're all out here kind of in this together, man, trying to grow our audiences, man. So I feel like if we can just help each other in whatever way we can, and this is the best way to do it.
Yes.
Be on each other's shows.
Yeah.
Right? So
collaboration.
For
the nation.
Yeah, man. Like I always say.
Wakanda forever.
What did you see it?
Yeah.
There's one last thing. Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know why Boyce Watkins and those men were so mad. Like, oh, they're trying to erase black men. I'm like,
what?
You didn't stay for the Easter eggs, sir. Okay.
What?
Yeah, it was like this whole thing where they were like, oh, it's an erasure of masculinity and the Black Panther's supposed to be a man. I'm like, and then of course the comic book nerds were like, no, Shuri
was
the Panther.
Yeah, for a short time when T'Challa almost dies.
Yeah,
but it was just so what? People, that's what I'm saying. People be taking shit too far. Like you can't just enjoy it. Yeah. Just enjoy the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Why you gotta look for this whole deeper meat? Like people be looking for reasons to be upset.
Right.
They look for reasons to feel like they're being discriminated against or somebody trying to erase them or something. It's just like I didn't get that at all. That was never a thought in my mind that they were trying to erase masculinity.
It was a thing.
I thought it was cool to see, so there was definitely a black woman theme.
Yeah, and I'm so glad they had the character from Chicago. As soon as I saw the Chicago flag in the back.
Riri Abrams.
Yeah, Ironheart.
It was definitely a black woman-dominated film, for sure. But that was a theme of the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just but that's a problem? I mean, how many other women Marvel movies have there been?
Yeah, this is
right?
true. Right.
And it's definitely not black women centered.
And I think because it was coming right on the end of the Woman King too,
Right.
so I think they were kind of like lumping all that together, like, oh, this is an erasure. What is a Woman King? And
But they also like it was very much about them mourning T'Challa / Chadwick.
yeah,
It was very you knew that this was really them,
right,
like where they're mourning T'Challa in this movie, but there's also mourning Chadwick.
right.
Like this is very much a tribute to him.
right.
You know, and you saw that, and like you said, they didn't stay for the end.
Right.
You know, but
and there was like this whole uproar where people were like, don't replace the Black Panther. And I remember there was like a whole thing after he died too. So I don't know how that played into it. But
so I was, and not for those reasons. I just thought it was too soon.
yeah.
He only got to be one movie, and the Black Panther is a very, very powerful character within the Marvel universe. So for him, I thought they should have recast him. I really did, but I definitely understood why they didn't. This is the same cast, the same director. They were all very close with him. They all loved him. So for them to just bring somebody else on into that dynamic with all of them to replace that character,
Yeah.
I could see why they wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
It could have fucked up the chemistry
Yeah.
of the movie. And so
sure.
I feel like given the circumstances that the fucking
They did really well.
they did really well.
Yeah.
Considering that your star died after the first movie.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be multiple.
Yeah.
I think he did an amazing job. Ryan Coogler is a
He's
wonderful
great.
director.
Yes.
And that's why I kind of like, because Marvel been kind of striking out lately.
Right.
But I felt like I trust Ryan.
Yeah.
And I think he did an amazing job.
And I hate that we complain like, oh, we get slave movies, but then when we get not slave movies, like these are black actors that you're, supporting, and black crew, and
It was a black ass movie.
yeah. I mean, and they're in Haiti, like, and I mean, we know the history with Haiti. Like, we got to give Haiti so much love as Black Americans. Like,
Man, if we need a Toussaint Overture movie in this month. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Danny Glover was trying to get that made a long time ago.
yeah, I heard something about that. I
Yeah.
hope it happens.
Hopefully one day. Yeah. All right, we really gonna go this time.
All right.
It's always like that. Like we gonna go with black people. It's just like you get up talking, and then you go into the car and you're still talking, and then you in the driver's seat and you're still talking, and they just sitting there just
I'm
like,
gonna let you go
right,
3
yeah,
times.
right. Saying goodbye take like 45 minutes.
Mexican women do that too. They're really bad about that.
Really?
They'll God bless you to death. They'll God bless you, and you just got to hang up on them. Hang up on them.
All right, man. Well, like I said, thank you. I appreciate you, and thank everybody else for watching. There's so much content out here. You don't have to view mine, but I definitely appreciate all of you that do. All of my regulars, all of my people that tune in. Definitely really appreciate you, for thinking that I'm somewhat interesting. Even though I think it's mostly the other people that comment. Nobody give a fuck about me for real.
No.
All right, man. Well, it's been fun.
Yes.
It's been real. Until next time, peace.